So it began with a great friend of ours, Jim Pappas, wandered up to me one day and said, "Dave, I've got a boat. We should put you guys on a boat, go and crash through some waves and shoot it. It'll look fantastic, it'll be great for the band." So we thought this was a great idea and we parked that thought in the back of our head. Then the song came and somewhere along the lines we put the song together with that concept of the boat, because the song Saviour is a powerful rock ballad and it really lends itself well to those sort of feelings and emotions.
I'd spoken with Dave in particular about his ideas around the song, about making a video about it, and the idea was great. You know, these images of a fishing boat crashing through the waves, and I think David described the band on the boat at the time, and I was like, I'm not sure if the band on the boat is a good idea, but I do like the idea of someone on the cliffs, and it's called Saviour, and they're looking down on this boat, and it's in this big ocean. And so to me, the epicness of the song really went with this epic idea of a video.
And I lived down on Phillip Island, so we had the location, and we thought really, with Woolamai and the crashing waves, wind-drenched cliffs, this all starting to meld into a bit of a storyline here.
Dave and Mark gave me their initial thoughts on a storyline, and it definitely had that something. It went with the song, definitely the themes were right, but it needed more of a story. And in the end, I sort of added a few twists and turns, and I thought, okay, well, this is more of a complete story now, and I think that within this quite long song, it will almost play out like a film clip.
We needed to cast our hero, so we shortlisted about a dozen likely candidates that were all terrific, and most of them were very willing to take on the role. But the daunting thing, of course, was they're going to have to jump in Western Port Bay in the middle of August from a fishing trawler.
The phone rang and it was Dave Manning, a guy who, grew up in New Haven, a place where I grew up, at the other end of the street. So I've known Dave for a long time, but I wasn't quite sure what the phone call was going to be about. I thought it might have been just him wanting a phone number or something like that for me to pass on, but he got involved with his mission he was on to shoot this film, and yeah, thought I might have been a good candidate. I think they wanted someone, ready and willing to jump off a boat, and they thought I was a good candidate. So knowing that, I still went for it. I thought it was a good opportunity. I just, you say yes occasionally and good things happen. So it did sound a bit morbid. I was wondering, I don't know if I'm generally a pretty happy sort of person around town. I didn't know why they'd sort of sourced me out for that type of role. I guess that was a bit of a question I did have. It's a pretty powerful sort of piece, so it's good to be involved with.
Fortunately, Phillip Island has got a great community and we're entrenched in it, so we're able to really utilise our friends and family to make the shoot happen. So without them, it wouldn't have happened. So I've got a good friend who's got a ute, Steve Jeffrey, and he was more than happy to let us use the ute. We scouted around and found some houses that we thought would really suit the shoot. Fortunately, they belonged to family and friends, and they were more than happy to oblige. So thanks to those people.
Actually, even a few weeks before we even started shooting, in the planning process, we had to build this camera jib, which involved our friend Bluey's bike, part of it, some bike parts. We had to use an old speaker stand and a few other bits and pieces that Tom pulled together and created this camera jib.
One of the really strong images I had for particularly the cliff top scenes was these big sort of sweeping camera shots of people standing at the top of the cliff looking out to sea, and I wanted the camera to sort of sweep past them as if it's flying. That would normally be your helicopter shot. So I thought, well, I really want a big one of these booms, one of these camera jibs that enables the camera to fly around and move up and down. I looked into that, and they're thousands of dollars to buy, thousands of dollars, ridiculous amounts of money. You can hire them, but again, that costs thousands of dollars. So I had to think about it, and I thought, well, I can make one of these.
Often your dreams are possibly affected by, you know, the financial backing behind the thing. And when I rocked up and there's an old windsurfing mast used as a camera jib, I think, yeah, I sort of got an idea. Okay, well, we might not have the most state-of-the-art facilities and equipment, but you know, we're making do and getting good results. The first scene involved, yeah, walking out of a house with young River, a little champion, and I guess that was probably one of the better ways, with me having no experience, to enter into it.
Really, Tom was quite busy. You know, he had a million things in his mind. Looking after a child and directing a child was probably a big challenge for him. And to have Nick there, effectively directing River, was very fortunate for us. We wouldn't have had a clue how to deal with directing a 3-year-old. So Nick did a great job dealing with it.
And look at Daddy. Look at real Daddy.
The scene itself took a few takes and a lot of flexibility, I guess, by Tom.
It was great to have Lisa Kane there
to
help out with just sorting out River and throwing some good suggestions.
A couple of things that we quite easily would have overlooked, you know, costumes and continuity that she was on top of, and fortunate that she was there.
Okay, I'm going to do it first, you watch me.
Follow Lisa.
Yeah, I'm going to do it first.
You go now, Ready? Ready? Here we go. Walk with Andy. Now, copy what Lisa. Go down the stairs. Go down the stairs. Watch me going. Go down the stairs. Keep doing it. You do it now. So on day 2, we needed to shoot Andy coming out of the surf, and the location, Bore Beach, is pretty wild on the best of days, and this wasn't the best of days. We're talking 6 to 8 foot closeouts, smashing into that bay.
Epic.
Dangerous. Thank God we chose Andy Dallinger and he chose to work with us, because not many actors would contemplate getting in a surf on a day like that. And also, we had another great friend, Si, who's such a waterman, and he kitted up, put his suit on, and took a camera out into the surf with Andy.
Super keen.
Oh, and got smashed by the waves. Put himself right in the firing line and put his body on the line and scored some pretty good footage. And we've got some good photos of him doing that. He's a speck in a sea of whitewash.
All the filming went ahead in the middle of winter, basically, so that was something that was added a bit of spice to the whole thing. I knew my scenes, a few of them I had to be in the water, and I'm prepared for that. I've been surfing on Phillip Island all my life, so but it's never easy. You know, the clouds are brewing, the winds up. The swell was pretty solid that day, so I knew I had to get in the shorey there at San Remo and swim around. And to be honest, that was another good little intro for me, just that next step, because it's something that I'm familiar with. Doing it with the camera in my face, not so much, but we all worked together to get that scene. I think Si was in the water with me, yeah, up to his neck in it, so that was a good effort by him. And it didn't take too many takes to get that scene. That was pretty comfortable in a pretty rugged environment, I guess.
Yeah, just another challenge that we put to all these great people. Frankie, one of them. Can you stand on the cliff face in the freezing cold wind and
look angelic, please.
and she dealt with it really well. And lucky again, we had Lisa Kane there, who was able to keep her warm when we weren't shooting. And it would have been very hard for her to stare out, you know, into the glaring reflection of the water, and keep her eyes open.
As for all the extras there that day, good on them. They were really all putting in, standing there in the cold. And we tried to not. We knew that there was going to be a lot of people there, and we tried not to let that scene drag on too long. We didn't want to keep people there all day, and I think Tom's direction was really good at that point, and we coordinated it so people were there at the right time. We got the shots done. People weren't hanging around too long, and at the point where people were hanging around, Mum busted out a box full of sandwiches for everyone.
They were good sandwiches.
They were good sandwiches. How about Si though, bringing his
condiments.
He
travels with his own condiments.
Amazing. Well, I remember when we all arrived at the jetty to embark upon the boat scenes, and there was quite a bit of buzz there because most of the people involved in the shoot sort of descended upon the San Remo jetty at that point.
Yeah, everyone was excited. There's a really good feeling about getting the right, you know, getting the shots that everyone wanted, and there wasn't too much trepidation in my part. I was a bit hesitant, didn't know where Jim was going to actually pull the boat up and and Tom asked me to jump off at that point, so I wasn't sure where it was all going to occur.
It was the first time a lot of them met Jim, our skipper, and
who's a larger-than-life character.
Yeah, so that's why there was a buzz. He arrived and sort of became co-director and started sort of in a fantastic way, and we needed him to do it, just sort of let us know how he needed to operate.
You know, because the boat's going to...
Considering the shots, that's perfect.
Yeah. The boat's going to
I was
swing
trying
out.
to tell him, don't think with think with the fisherman's mind. Don't leave the shoot, the shot, the direction.
So there was a real buzz around at that stage, and we were pretty excited to get on board the boat. And obviously, it's a day on a boat. It's fun in itself. I don't know if Andy was looking forward to it, having to jump off into the ocean off Cape Woolamai, but we were definitely looking forward to watching it all unfold.
Yeah, jumping into the water off a boat, I guess that's something that I didn't struggle with too much. There's the little boy that's still alive in me that gets excited by those things, so that was okay. I think part of the whole thing was coordinating, like logistics to get people, to get weather. Weather was another huge thing for that day, and to get boats involved, all to come together for the one point. When that finally happened, yeah, everyone was like, yep, let's get in there and get it done. So that was nice.
Of course, it's one thing to have all these boats and shots, but we also wanted and needed shots from up on the cliff top. So enlisted the help of another great friend, Mick Bluey Jenks, who...
Did he jump on his bike? Did he get on a
he
bike?
He got on his bike and rode all the way out
with his camera gear.
With his camera, and he loved it, and charged from one point to the next as the boat sort of went around Cape Woolamai. So he got up there and got some pretty epic shots. You'll see that in the clip, looking down on the Tara Lynn as it's around the corner in the swell.
Yeah, so the jumping scene itself was something that I guess I'd run over a fair few times in my head. I was ready for that. As I said before, I'd surfed on the island all year round for all my life, so the temperature of the water wasn't an issue. But it was a bit of a climax to the whole storyline, I guess. So yeah, there were a few other people on the boat, so that made the feeling on the boat itself a good one. There's good energy there, and I just had to concentrate with a bit of Tom's guidance and get the scene done. I think kicking off the gumboots and the heavy fishing jacket, yeah, you just had to step up and take the plunge. Hopefully, to this point I haven't seen the final vision, so hopefully it looks good, looks realistic, and what I was trying to convey comes through.
So go through the whole sequence and then jump. Action! I'd envisaged he'd do this once, so I was quite keen to get all the shots lined up and make sure that the one time he did it, we got the shot. But as it turned out, Andy jumped off and he swam out a bit, swam back to the boat, got back on the trawler and did it again, which I wasn't expecting. I wasn't complaining. This was great. And I think he did it in total 3 times. He jumped into the ocean. Very brave, but never complained. Never complained. He just got on with his job, which for a volunteer actor is quite a feat.
There was quite a bit of emotion actually when I was swimming in the middle of the eastern passage of Western Port Bay. It's probably not a place I'm totally comfortable just floundering around with a woolen jumper and long pants.
I don't think that wasn't part of the deal. I think Andy wasn't expecting to be swimming in the middle of the channel. But all of a sudden, we're on the boats and we're heading back towards Boar Beach, and Tom's like, right, let's get a shot of Andy in the channel. Andy, jump in.
That was okay. You know, I windsurf occasionally a couple of kilometres to the northwest, and I surf just around the other side of the Cape, so the water isn't totally foreign. But when the boat filming keeps drawing away and away from you, and the safety boat is beyond that, and all of a sudden you're 50 to 100 metres clear of any sort of safety network, floundering in the channel, yeah, I wasn't all that comfortable.
So Andy's there on his own, just swimming, and then the support boat went back around, picked him up, and Andy goes,
I felt like a human lure. So, you know, we got the job done, and I'm here, so no damage done, I guess.
So that was probably one of the most courageous things I've seen anyone do, but Tom had this spontaneous idea to get him in there, and you did it.
I think it's a strong moment, you know. It's another thing to come out of the surf dripping wet and semi-exhausted, and that happens in real life, but to try and put yourself in that situation where you're faced with your very own son, you've come back to look after and been drawn in by a late partner, I think that's a really strong moment. So that wasn't lost on me, even though it was, 12 degrees in the water and a bit colder on the beach.
Yeah, it is. It's all the things that we love, just came together in that clip, and it is. It's exciting to have that captured and immortalised, and yeah, it's a good feeling.
I know that I will look at it in years to come and just see all our family and friends actually in the video, appearing in the video, and all the other bits and I know where the truck came from, I know where the boat came from, and that'll give me a great sense of satisfaction. And I know that everyone appears in it will look back at it and go, oh, that was cool, I'm glad we were involved with that. There's panning shots, you get a bit of an idea of it's a snapshot of history really when you see the boats involved in San Remo jetty, which will change, they'll change, the jetty will change, the bridge might change, the landscapes will change, we will change. I think when River gets older, he will really love looking back at it. Wow, that's good, cool. That was pretty cool.
But the video will remain.
The video will remain.